Hi, this is Jeff Lesher with What's the Point? And my point this week has to do with kind of a takedown, which isn't really my preferred style. But there's a guy named Andy Kessler who is an op-ed columnist for the Wall Street Journal, who apparently made a few bucks a long time ago in business and now passes himself off as being the be-all, end-all voice of reason and insight. And today, or in today's paper, he has an opinion about purpose in work, and he misinterprets and intentionally misconstrues a number of things written and said by a whole host of folks that he suggests could be remedied as the flaw in our system. The reason these kids today really don't get it is that they don't appreciate that businesses should be purely about profit, and purpose has no place. The purpose itself, in fact, should be profit. And my point would be that in order to get to profit, what we know, if we choose to learn, as opposed to just walk around with a huge stick in our ass, that what we know is that in order to get or maximize profit and other sustainability components of running an effective business, people need to feel purposeful. Now, it doesn't mean that, as he casually throws over the transom, that if we chose to work for Juul, the vaping company, that we were suckered into something that sounded good and turned out to be nefarious, versus, as I've often cited, my mom's example of slicing meat and cheese at the deli at Safeway for over 20 years as a way in which she had an additional platform to show people they were welcome and that there were people who knew them, cared about them, or as we sometimes say, that they are seen. She is very good at, and was very good in that role, at seeing people. So purpose is important. Not that it has to be the direct thing that attracts us and drives us in a business, but certainly that the culture is consistent with our idea of right and wrong, of ethics and so forth. And frankly, anybody who suggests to the contrary ought to just look at their own paper from a couple days ago and see what happened to the Chemours stock, spinoff of DuPont, that apparently was run by a bunch of crooks who were committing bookkeeping violations, and have been suspended and tanked their stock as a consequence. That would be a case where the purpose of not being a huge ass and a criminal would be a good idea for the business. So my point would be, if you read schmoes like Andy Kessler, take it with a huge grain of salt, in fact, probably a whole salt lick, because they don't know what they're talking about, but they insist in a way that if you don't agree with them, you must be the dumbass. And they are, and that's the point.